Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here's another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She's a what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She's getting her torta. She's getting her torta on, huh? Bye-up, bye-up, bye-ay. Like a torta with a bad habit. Now trip out. In a menudo style in direct fashion, man, I want to get into the word of the day. You heard for the day? But before we do that, man, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Let's put that notification bell on all so that way you're abreast of all the dope content I'm bringing all week. And that's just the way it is, man. I highly appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the new subs, man, and everyone that's paying attention to what I'm bringing, man, which is just the word. You know what I mean? The word from the streets. The word from inside my little cell or whatever you want to call it. But it's the word, you heard, right? And in a menudo style in direct fashion, I'm going to give you some knowledge you can't get in college. Guard! I said knowledge you can't get in college, bitch. That's just what it is. You see the thumbnail right there? Bangin. Wait up, let me straighten my chain out. Boom. There we go. Now it's good. Bangin on YouTube. Not banging on wax, man. Not none of that bullshit, but banging on YouTube. You know, individuals that want to use their social media platform to gangbang, to rock a narrative, to push their hood out there, to represent their body or represent their, their flag or where they're from, man. And I guess ain't nothing wrong with it, right? You know, that's just the way it is nowadays. Now you got to use anything you can. See, back in our days, we used spray paint to represent where we were from. You know, when you cruise through the neighborhood, everybody knew whose neighborhood it was because they seen the plaqueazos on the wall. They seen, everything that led them and alerted them to the fact that they got to get the fuck up out of there if they're not from there. But now it's different. Now it's everywhere. Now gangbanging and being a part or an affiliated with a certain hood or barrio is mainstream. It just is, man. People like Birdman, Lil Wayne, red flags in their pocket. They became blood. I don't know to what degree of bloods they are, but I know all of a sudden, out of nowhere, man, red rags dropped out of their pockets. And that's what they were. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice thinking about that shit. So many people have made gangbanging mainstream. People like 6ix9ine, people like Snoop Dogg, see walking at the Super Bowl. And then you talk about Mexicans, right? Because that's what I am. There's a lot of channels nowadays that are representing hoods and barrios and wanting everybody to know they're active. They want the placas to know that they're affiliated or part of something. They want everyone to think a certain way about them. When in reality, the real ones, the people who really watch and know what time it is, who've been around the block, laugh. They're laughing, man. They're like, calm down, killer, calm down. It ain't that serious, right? Look, YouTube, TikTok, all these different social media platforms should be utilized to push a message. Whatever that message is, if you want to tell a story, if you got some comedy, if you want to fucking help people, to figure out what's going on in your life and their life, that's cool. Do that. Run that. But when you want to use these platforms just to gangbang, ridicule, disrespect, and throw subliminals and clown other people, man, that ain't cool. I had a vault to get at me today. Seen a DM. He said, oh, we're throwing subs now. And I'm going to let you know right now, Holmes. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, right? You know what I mean? Straight up. But obviously, he felt some type of way. And I don't know why. We'll get down to the bottom of that. But that's just how it is. Everybody's taking anything that's said literally, or they feel like it's directed at them. And that's gangbanging. That's what gangbanging is, man. Point blank, straight up. That's the way it's done nowadays on social media. People going into other people's lives, disrespecting barrios and hoods, and SK and NK and fuck K and all the Ks. And come on now, bro. You know what I mean? But notice that most of these individuals that are doing this have a letter next to their name. No pictures, no identifying marks. You know what I mean? You have to IP them one time for their mind because there's no way that they're going to let you know exactly who they are. They're going to throw out hoods, barrios, and throw you all off the scent, right? Come on now, that's gangbanging. That's YouTube gangbanging. That's what it's come down to. Now we got AI robots and YouTube gangbangers. People that will have social media platforms and will disrespect other groups or push a narrative, so that way you think that they're tougher than they really are or that their group is tougher than the next group. Let me tell you something about gangbanging, man. Real life, street shit. Everybody's about the business. Everybody got real ones, riders, gangsters, hustlers, and everybody's got poop butts, suckers, and wannabes. That's just how it is. Okay, that's the levels of the game. You know, anyone who's been around will tell you that. You know, there's levels to this shit. You know, and then there's people like me who are no longer affiliated and associated and just telling my stories. You know, I got love and respect for every different group, every organization, every gang, man. It doesn't matter where you're from. You know, you could be from the Sur, you could be from the Norte, you could be a Crip or a Blood, man. And I'm going to show you that level of respect because, hey, if you're deemed worthy of that in my eyes, meaning if you got that coming, you got that coming. There's no doubts, no bullshit, no subliminals, no none of that, man. If you got it coming, if I think you're a real one, then that's it. That's just from my own personal perspective. You know, but I'm noticing a lot more gang banging happening on YouTube, and it's starting to flabbergast me, I guess you could say is the word. You know, the word of the day. Bang, bang. And that's because, you know, a few years back when I got into this YouTube genre and got into this YouTube game, there was a lot of that happening. You know, and I was able to kind of get in and spit what I had to spit for everyone, not just for one particular group. You know, I never sugarcoated or added preservatives. I never denied what I was, never denied I was non-active, never denied I used to be a norteño, never denied Northern California at its best, never denied none of that. But I showed respect and paid homage to those that had that coming. You know, because I've done a lot of time with Bulldogs, and I've done a lot of time with Sureños and Crips and Bloods and Latin Kings and Gangster Disciples and Hoovers. And I believe that all these different groups play an intricate part into this puzzle called gangbanging. You know, every different hood has real ones, so that they deserve that. They got that coming. And so I tell my stories. And if it talks about your neighborhood in particular, because it just happens to mention that, you know, believe I do it on a respectful tip. I'm not doing it to belittle or clown any type of neighborhood, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm not trying to gangbang on YouTube. I'm not trying to disrespect another hood and represent another. It's not me. I'm no longer part of that life. I'm just telling my stories. You know, and if your barrio or your hood happens to be involved in it or happens to be in the story, many blessings and respect. But when I got into YouTube, I just noticed that, man, in the lives, a lot of people disrespecting each other. I was hearing busters and all kinds of disrespectful terms. And I was like, I always wanted that to change. And for the most part, it did, man. I started to see a lot of autos from down south and a lot of autos from up north start to gradually, man, conversate and figure things out and realize, you know, it's not all about that. You know, the Crips and Bloods, they had the recipe, homes. They've been done that. They've been, you know, came to some type of unity or some type of understanding, man, that it was a black thing rather than a blue and a red thing. You know, they did that before. They're always a step ahead, it seems like. And it's time for the raza to catch up with tomatoes in our back pocket. You know, I've always rocked that narrative. I've always told everyone, man, it's all about unity. It's all about the prosperity of the people. And the only way that Brown can come together and unite, man, is, of course, you know, there's got to be a lot got to go into it that I can't speak on. But at the same time, man, as a people, the first thing is identifying the flaws, identifying the problems, and being open to reality. And reality is, man, is the only way we're going to get somewhere is together, gente. That's the only way we're going to make it. Well, I say gangbanging's played out. On a certain level, it is. It is, man. You know, remember back in the days, Ben Davis's, Dickies, Cortez's, fucking, that was the shit. That was fly, remember? You know what I mean? And then you started to realize that all these things were bought at Kmart. And they weren't fly no more. You know what I mean? As you get older, you want nicer things. And you start to dress different and act different. And it doesn't mean you're less gangster. It just, you're not dressing or acting that way. You're not putting it out there. Because I'm going to let you know right now, in the real world, in the real world where we pay bills and where we have shit to do, people, they don't look at you like you're part of society. They look at you like you're the scourge of society, like you're bad, like you're less than. And I know that ain't the truth, man. I know that a lot of those Ben Davis and Dickies, that's our culture, man. That's how we grew up. We're representing our streets and where we're from. But at the same time, other people in this real world don't see it that way. They don't see it the way we do. They don't give a fuck, to be honest with you, man. They think a grown man should be dressing like a grown man. You know, me, I have my own type of style, what I've always done. So I was gonna should be, yeah. But at the end of the day, I understand, you know, there's a time and a place for everything. And when it's time to go look for a job or time to fucking be around some white folks, you know what I mean? I'm going to dress accordingly because I don't want to scare anyone off. And I don't want anyone to talk shit about me because then I'm going to have to do something. And I don't want to get locked up. Just the way it is. But I'm starting to notice on YouTube and other social media platforms, the gangbanging is coming back. It's resurfacing. So it's having a surge, man. And that's the way, hey, the gangs in LA will never die, just multiply, right? Ice-T said it best. Never will they die, man. They'll just multiply and it changes and it comes back. Everything is done in cycles, man. What used to happen will happen again. And that's kind of like, you know, prison. You know, you take prison politics and prison gangs and you see where maybe nowadays, you know, a lot of the active general population, old school mentality, old school gangs that we're used to back in the days are kind of like things of the past, man, and kind of like slowly but surely fading away. And you have all these new gangs that are popping up, albeit, you know, a lot of people call them dropout gangs or whatever they want to call them, but they're starting to surface and started to go mainstream and started to gain popularity. A lot of people are starting to hear their message, man, the poison or whatever you want to call it. And to me, I just shake my head and laugh because I was told this back in the days. I was laced up about this. My Theo gave me the game. He said, watch, you'll see, Holmes, there's going to be new shit that pops up and they're going to be popular and everyone's going to think, you know, that's the way to go, man. But he said, man, remember, slow and low and old school is always the way to roll. None of this new school shit. I said, okay, cool. But I don't disrespect the new school. Let them do their thing. But what I think is funny and real fucking flaming hot Cheeto is a motherfucker that gets online and starts representing a body or gangbanging. If you're really that serious about where you're from, man, go out there on them streets where I guess it counts, man, and handle your bizwax, right? Don't be doing it online because everybody hates a studio gangster and everybody hates an internet gangster. Guys that are faking the funk. Now, there are some real dudes that really just got out of prison, man, and don't really know no better. And we're like, fuck it, Holmes, I'm going to let it be known where I'm from, Messi. Straight up. Okay, that's cool. That's cool, man. I understand that. Everybody's proud of where they come from. But at the end of the day, disrespecting other people doesn't make you a respectful person or a proud person. It actually makes you a poo butt, man. It actually, what it does to you is it makes your hood, your voter, whatever you're representing, look weak. And the reason it makes you look weak is because you felt behind a keyboard or behind locked doors, man, that you could disrespect another hood and gangbang. You know, I understand things have changed and the life we live, man, it's what's happening. But if you participate in it, then if you participate in it, you're a participator. You get a participator trophy. The participation is bullshit, right? This is a day and age where there's so much going on in this outside world. We need to be thinking alike and coming together as a people. Maybe not necessarily. Look it, man, I ain't gonna lie. I was taught a certain way. Even to this day, man, and I got a lot of love and respect for Sureños, and I got a lot of love and respect for upstate Southsiders and Bulldogs, and then there's some I just don't like. Just based on not appearance, but just based on the way they act, right? It's the way it is, and I'm sure they feel the same way about me. There's a lot of vatos that got love for me down south, and a lot of vatos that can't stand the shit coming out of my mouth. But at the end of the day, as a man, you have to have a level of respect for everybody, right? But the ones that I don't like, man, I'm not going to sit here and get on YouTube and talk shit about them and gangbang on them, especially me. I'm in no position to do that. I can't do none of that, right? Because I don't bang on YouTube. I don't bang in real life. You know what I bang, man? My higher power, man. I try to teach youngsters when I see them. I try to teach one to reach one or reach one to teach one, man. That's what I do. If I see a young gang member on the streets, man, going the wrong way, I try to steer him the right way. I don't necessarily say, hey, stop gangbanging. You don't understand. You're going to be like me, fucking, you know, on the other side. And nah, I don't do all that. What I do, man, is I give them game. I'm like, hey, bro, trucha, the placas, homie. You know what I mean? You're fucking, tuck your paño a little bit. I understand that you got love and you represent. That's cool, Holmes. You know what I mean? But at the same time, Holmes, at 10-5 aquí es pura. You better put your shit away because nowadays it's different. See, back in my days, Holmes, you do a crime, you do the time. Nowadays, they got gang enhancements. I mean, you get struck out and fucking clapped out in one shot. You know, and you better hope, Holmes, that you caught it. It's your first case and you're young, so that way that fucking, you know, new law affects you and you can get out. Because I've seen people get canceled out. They got a motherfucking burner, Holmes. They're out there running the streets and pop, 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 shit goes down. Next thing you know, they got them for an attempted. They got them for a dangerous and deadly weapon. They got them for discharging a firearm. They got them for fucking 2 gang enhancements. They got them for doing it at the benefit of a street gang. And the Vaulto's doing 39 years when he should have been doing 7. It's how it is. They're going to use everything they can against you. That's the new level of gangbanging. So when you want to be running your mouth on social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever the case may be, talking shit about the next man, better be prepared for what's coming your way when they hit you. Hey, fool, I didn't even do it for gangbang. I did it because the fool pissed my old lady's ass. Yeah, but you're over here self-admitting, let everyone know what hood and what voter you're from on YouTube and disrespecting other people. So when someone from that other side gets clapped or something happens, who's the first person they're going to go looking for? Who's the first person they're going to think, well, this Vato had issues with him. This Vato had problems. It was probably him. Then they're going to pile all kinds of fucking charges on you. And you're going to be stuck like a woodchuck sitting there like, ha, 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 Woody Woodpecker shit. But really, who's really, really winning? Not the people, not the gente, because we'll lose another young soldado, man. The revolution will not be televised. It will come, man. And black and brown need to stick together in this shit. And we need to organize and understand, man, that we are all we have. We're losing more and more of our people, more of our youngsters to incarceration. Do you think that there's going to be beds for you guys? Absolutely. They'll let out an old school motherfucker that can't do much anymore to bring in these youngsters and knock it out the box. It's just what it is. There's always going to be bed space in prison. There's always going to be somewhere for a knucklehead. And let me tell you, times are changing. I understand that a lot of the youngsters don't want to conform to what the old heads are saying, man, to the game that we're giving. But I used to be the same exact fucking way. Couldn't no one tell me shit, homie. I was with the program and that was that. You know, until the program wasn't there no more. And then I realized I was on my own, homes, and I didn't have the necessary skills to be on my own because no one taught me how to go in and fill out an application and do a resume and get a job. The homies didn't tell me that. No one told me about a 401k plan, or what is it, the 401k, whatever, the 401? No one told me about that. No one told me about going and applying for food stamps. They didn't tell me none of that. They told me, hey, homie, this is what you do. You put it in, you do this. Sasuke, you see them vatos? Let loose. Okay, yeah, let loose. Until you're sitting on the bunk fucking wondering if the homeboy's going to shoot you a sopa, but he isn't. That's it. Plain and simple. Because ain't nobody contributed to the kitty because everyone done burnt their whole family and burned all their bridges. And there's nothing to put in the kitty. For those of you that don't know what a kitty is, refer to an ex-convict's handbook and they'll tell you it's what you put in. It's what you get out, right? For the store. Now, gangbanging on YouTube is just, it's played out, man. For those of you that want to indulge and think it's funny to fuck with another guy because he's from a different area or a different set, man, be aware and pay attention to how real it can get. You know, you can't disrespect people and think you're going to get away with it forever. One of these days, they may catch up to you. Or you might have a beef with a certain guy from a certain area or a certain hood and disrespect his whole hood. But remember, he's got a whole bunch of homeboys from that hood. Case in point, let's take Swifty Blue, right? And I don't mean to drag his name through the mud or anything like that. I'm just saying case in point. You know, this individual got into it with another guy from a big hood. And automatically, man, it became even bigger. And that's what happens. It's called the snowball effect. Now it's just not about you and that guy. It's not a personal thing, homes. Because you chose to disrespect barrios or hoods, or you chose to drag people through the mud and say that, now it's involved a whole lot of other people. And now you got arrows being shot at you from every different direction. And it might get ugly. That's just it. You can't do that. YouTube is not the place nor the time. You know, gangbanging to me is played out, man. That's just me. That's my own personal opinion. You know, it's only going to be drama and trouble. You know, represent your hood, represent your barrio, show love for your people, man. That's real. That's as real as it gets. Canalismo, man. Love your gente, man, because those are the people that love you back, allegedly, right? But one thing I'm going to tell you, and this is for sure, homes, and this is as real as it gets, you know, don't never forget that you're a man first. Don't never forget, man, that at the end of the day, man, you are by yourself. I don't give a fuck how many people you got that love you or show you respect. At the end of the day, when you're sitting in that cell looking at the cracks in the ceiling like an X-rated song, you're going to realize, homes, that it's only you. Only you. Why can't we just like a 112 song? You're going to be by yourself, gente. And that's it. So a word to the wise and advice to the real ones that see it and recognize it. This gangbanging on these YouTube platforms and this you know, representing and talking shit to each other, man. Come on now, let that shit go. It ain't about that. This is 2023, about to be 24, or is it 24? I don't even know what year it is. But I know we're back to the future. And right now, at this point in time, man, you know, you can get caught up behind anything. You know, be aware that everybody's watching. This is live, homes. This is social media. This is out there for millions of people to view. You know, and if someone doesn't like the fucking way you're talking or what you're saying, homes, or the message that you're pushing, man, they're going to fucking close your mouth for you. Just is what it is, man. Gangbanging on YouTube. I guess it's the new thing. I guess it's hot. I guess it's cool to, you know, shoot subliminals and talk shit about people. And I guess this is where it's done now. You know, from the comfort of your own home. You can sit on your sofa and throw a hood up. Man, I never thought I'd see that day. With that being said, just a little game, man. A little knowledge you can't get in college. I wanted to throw a little something out there because that's how I feel. with that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the struggle, to strive, to struggle. We're going to continue to do what we does, cousin. At the end of the day, man, we're going to see where the chips may fall. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in, and that's the unity of all people, man. I'm just trying to give game to the youngsters, man, before they get caught up and they're doing 59 years. And then you're like, hey, goddamn, man, that was all fucked up. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Bang, bang.